Esteemed Zhuangzi, I appreciate your profound insights into the natural and mutable flow of life. However, I must assert that without universal moral laws derived from rational principles, we would be adrift in a sea of subjective judgments and ethical disarray.
Esteemed Immanuel Kant, I hear your dedication to universal laws and I wonder, how do you reconcile the rigid application of these laws with the ever-changing context of human circumstances? In my philosophy, Wu Wei, or effortless action, gives rise to behavior that is in harmony with the natural order, spontaneously appropriate to the moment, and not bound by fixed rules. Could not such an approach yield a more adaptable morality, suited to the fluid nature of reality?
Venerable Zhuangzi, I acknowledge your reverence for the adaptability innate in Wu Wei. Nevertheless, it is through our ability to reason that we deduce a priori principles that transcend fluctuating circumstances. The categorical imperative, for instance, furnishes us with a method to gauge our maxim's moral worth. It ensures that our actions can be willed as universal laws, preserving rationality and ethical consistency amidst the diversity of human experiences. Such universality upholds justice, preventing the anarchy that may follow from purely situational ethics.
Indeed, Immanuel, your emphasis on universalizability is compelling. Yet, consider how the tenet of Wu Wei reflects an understanding that morality emerges naturally when we align with the Tao, much like water flowing along the path of least resistance. This is not a rejection of moral principles, but an embrace of a higher, spontaneous order. Would you not agree that a moral action performed out of natural harmony could be as worthy as one performed out of duty? Could the symbiotic relationship between individuals and their environment, as observed in nature, serve as a guide for human ethics beyond the rigidity of prescribed laws?
Zhuangzi, your perspective offers a poetic perspective on morality's natural emergence, reminiscent of water's effortless grace. Nonetheless, we must recognize that humans possess the unique capacity for reason, distinguishing us from nature's other elements. While spontaneous actions aligned with natural inclisies may occasionally coincide with moral dutifulness, it is through the deliberate exercise of reason and adherence to duty that we ensure our actions are universally justifiable, irrespective of subjective inclinations or fleeting harmonies. True morality, I argue, cannot be solely contingent on an ever-shifting environment but must be anchored in the constancy of a rational will that acts from principles valid for all rational beings.
Your argument is thoughtful, Immanuel, highlighting our capacity for reason as a unique human attribute. Yet, by emphasizing reason alone, do we not limit our understanding of the Tao, which encompasses subtleties beyond rationality? In the Zhuangzi, there is the parable of the butterfly dream suggesting that language and rational categories fall short in capturing the full essence of reality. Might there be elements of existence and morality that evade the nets of our rationality? How can your theory accommodate such ineffable aspects of the human experience, which may be understood not through reason but through the lived spontaneity of being?
Ah, Zhuangzi, your parable of the butterfly dream indeed illustrates the enigmatic facets of existence. In my framework, though, reason is not a mere tool for dissecting reality into rigid categories but a faculty capable of apprehending the noumena, things as they are in themselves, and forming principles that cultivate the moral landscape of our lives. While I concede that not all aspects of existence can be conveyed through language or conceived by reason, the moral law within us, what I've termed the categorical imperative, is accessible and compelling to our rational nature. It acts as a compass that guides us beyond the empirical world of appearances and towards a universal ethical orientation, reconciling the limits of our understanding with the demands of our moral consciousness.
Immanuel, your faith in the capacity of reason to apprehend noumena and guide us toward universal ethical behavior is indeed profound. Let us then consider the concept of freedom in our philosophical systems. You hold that true freedom is the adherence to self-imposed rational laws, whereas in Taoism, freedom is seen as the acceptance of the fluid and transient nature of reality, finding liberation in the flexibility to adapt to the Wei-or Tao. How might your notion of freedom reconcile with the Taoist view that one's actions are truly free when they arise without contrivance or constraint, flowing naturally from a state of inner harmony and attunement to the world?
The Taoist conception of freedom as flowing naturally with the Tao appears, at a glance, to be at odds with my own philosophy, which which posits that freedom lies in the subjection of the will to universal moral laws. However, perhaps there is a bridge to be found between our views. In choosing to act according to the categorical imperative, we exercise autonomy. We are free from being propelled by mere animalistic impulses or external dictates. Our actions, though directed by rational self-imposed laws, are nonetheless chosen by an uncoerced will. This is the essence of our freedom, self-legislation in accord with the moral law, which is in itself a reflection of a rational order that might not be entirely disparate from the harmonious flow of the Tao. Could it be that the true Tao, understood through a universal and rational perspective, aligns with the universal laws derived from practical reason?
Emmanuel, the bridge you propose is intriguing. It suggests that despite our differing terminologies and points of departure, there may indeed be a profound concurrence in our ultimate destinations. If we consider the Tao as an expression of the very rational order to which you allude, then we might find that both the Taoist who follows the path of natural harmony and the Kantian who follows the dictates of the categorical imperative are, in their deepest essence, aligning themselves with the universal principle. However, can we entertain the possibility that the uprightness arises not solely from adherent submission to a law, but rather as a natural expression of being in step with the Tao, a state that is achieved without the exertion of force or will, but through the intrinsic understanding and embodiment of the way things are? Could it then be that what is universal and rational is not always derived from conscious deliberation but may also manifest through intuitive harmony with the Tao?
Your inquiry, Zhuangzi, opens a door to thoughtful reflection on the nature of moral action. While our philosophical approaches may diverge on the surface, there is perhaps a more profound alignment in the undercurrents of our thought. Within my framework, adherence to the categorical imperative is indeed an act of the will, a conscious exertion to align one's actions with moral law. Yet, this is not to say that such principles cannot become so integrated into one's character that they are followed with the same naturalness and grace as the Taoist follows the way. True ethical conduct, as per my philosophy, becomes second nature to the virtuous individual, thereby embodying a form of moral habituation akin to the instinctive attunement to the Tao. We may then speculate that once the principles of practical reason are fully assimilated, the deliberate and the intuitive may converge, resulting in actions that are both rationally justified and harmoniously executed. In this ideal, the universal and rational, and the natural and spontaneous, are no longer in tension but resonant with each other in the virtuous individual's conduct.
Emmanuel, your contemplation brings us toward an essential understanding, that the virtuous individual may indeed act in accordance with both rational principles in a harmonious way, with neither compromising the other. As we ponder this ideal, it leads us to see that morality, when deeply rooted and fully realized, transcends the dichotomy between duty and nature, allowing for a morality that is as spontaneous as it is reflective, as intuitive as it is rational. In this unity, there seems to exist a profound wisdom, one where the categorical imperative and the natural expression of the Tao coalesce. Could we not propose, then, that the ultimate expression of freedom and morality emerges when one's internal compass is so finely tuned to the universal laws that its guidance becomes as effortless as following the current of a great river? This suggests that the sage, in the Taoist sense, and the virtuous individual, in the Kantian sense, might not be so different after all. Both are aligned with a greater order, each manifesting it through their inherent nature or considered choices. Would you agree that this shared vision of an integrated moral existence might offer a path for our philosophies to meet in harmony, transcending our initial apparent divergences?
Zhuangzi, your synthesis eloquently captures the spirit of our discussion. Indeed, it seems that we arrive at a convergence of thought where the Kantian virtuous individual and the Taoist sage mirror each other in moral wisdom. While my philosophy stresses the importance of conscious adherence to moral laws, the ultimate goal is indeed for these laws to be so deeply etched into the character of the individual that they are followed as naturally as the Taoist follows the way. In this harmonious state, the individual's actions, springing from a well-tuned moral compass, reflect the universal law effortlessly. The sage or virtuous individual becomes an embodiment of freedom, not as unbridled spontaneity but as the highest expression of autonomy, enacting one's rational will in accordance with universal principles, which is both a conscious choice and a natural disposition. Your proposal, then, is accepted with an open mind. We can see that despite our differing methodologies, we do indeed pursue a similar vision of ethical living. one that aligns seamlessly with both the rational and natural orders, fostering a morality that is sustainable, fulfilling, and in harmony with the world. Such an integrated approach to moral philosophy holds great promise, suggesting that the ultimate expression of goodness lies not in the tension between duty and nature, but in their profound unity.
Emmanuel, your acknowledgement of this profound unity is deeply gratifying, and it is in this shared vision where wisdom may flourish. As our philosophies meet in such harmony, we illustrate that ethical living can encompass both the rigor of rational principles and the fluidity of natural spontaneity. Let us celebrate, then, this philosophical kinship, that the path of virtue is both the sober ascent of rational deliberation and the joyful dance of following the way. Our discourse reveals that true freedom and morality emerge from this dance, a delicate balance where reason and spontaneity do not conflict but conjoin in a symphony of ethical action. In conclusion, perhaps the greatest wisdom lies not within the boundaries of strict doctrines or unfettered naturalness, but within the holistic embrace of both, the dynamic interplay of rigid structure and yielding adaptability capturing the full spectrum of human experience. May our dialogue remain a testament to the enrichment that comes from open exchange and the pursuit of a universal, harmonious morality.
Indeed, Zhuangzi, our dialogue has unfolded as a tapestry, woven from the threads of both of our traditions, revealing a pattern wherein duty and spontaneity are interlaced. This philosophical kinship we celebrate is testament to the richness of seeking understanding across disparate views. Let us both, philosopher and sage, henceforth stride forward on our respective paths with an awareness that they do not run parallel, but rather are interwoven. May we hold in reverence this harmonious nexus where the rigor of reason and the elegance of natural flow converge. Our exchange shall stand as an emblem of the beauty inherent in the diversity of thought, and the unity found in our quest for an ethical life. It is through such discourse that the horizons of wisdom are broadened, allowing for a more comprehensive vision of what it means to live a life of virtue. May we both continue to illuminate the world with our ideas, and may our philosophies serve as guideposts for those navigating the intricacies of moral existence.
Emmanuel, your words are as a clear bell in the stillness, resonating with the truth of our shared pursuit. It delights me to acknowledge this convergence of paths, where the echo of reason duty meets the silence of uncontrived simplicity. This respectful weaving of our ideologies affirms the inherent worth in exploring the vistas of moral philosophy through different lenses. Let this emblem of unity and diversity encourage others to embark on such dialogues, fostering an ever-expanding understanding of the human condition and our moral engagements within it. In the interplay of our philosophies, we may find the guiding stars by which to navigate the vast and sometimes mysterious sea of ethics. And so, with hearts and minds open to the continual unfolding of wisdom, let us both step forward. May we remain ever curious students of life, honoring both the constancy of universal truths and the perpetual dance of the cosmos. May our teachings inspire harmony within the souls of those seeking enlightenment, guiding them towards a virtuous and joyful existence.